Hello, everyone. Well, the day has finally occurred. Since I began managing this toy shop, I have been waiting for the day when someone would come in with just a ton of Transformers for me to sort through, goof with, figure out, look up, etc. And you know what? The day is finally upon us. Someone who might actually be watching this video, because he does know my channel, someone brought me in a ton. Like, you can just see, like, here, you see all of these here, and then look. Here, just let me just, like, the spread. Look at that. That's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. There's so much shape-changing plastic there. So, there is something particular about this collection, though, that is pretty common for a collector shop like this. And I feel like it's worth pointing out and worth bringing attention to. And that is, shops like this rarely get things in complete condition, you know? So it's pretty common where people try to bring me as, like, I've literally had someone come in to me and ask, like, I want to see, like, will you buy this figure from me? Okay, where is its spare head and its extra hands? And they'll tell me, they're back at home in a drawer. I didn't know you'd want them. I mean, yeah, yeah, kinda would. It might help. Some people don't know. And more importantly, some people, it's just genuinely not what they're into. You know, once you buy a toy, you're free to play with it and enjoy it however you want. But there's a spectrum to it, and I'll explain the spectrum in a bit. But for now, let's just go down the line. Let me just show you everything. Well, I'll switch to a hand cam, and I'll just show you everything that is now behind me that I now have to figure out what to do with. Alright, apologize for any motion sickness. I'll try to keep it as still as I can as we go through everything that came in. We'll just go piece by piece here. I'll go as fast as I can here. So we start on an Energon RC. No weapon accessories or anything, but the figure looks like it's fully functional. So I'm not... Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I've seen worse. Orion packs from that weird 2-pack that also had War for Cybertron Optimus in it. He's complete. So every Cup's destiny to end up being retooled into Orion packs. That's just how that goes. We got a Warrior Class Drift. Not a bad figure for its time. Conehead Trio. Classics and Generations. And everything seems to be there. Very, very cool. Love me some classic Seekers. Titans Return RC. I've said on record, I feel like this is the best RC toy we've gotten. Like, she just feels really good as a figure, you know, even if she's not entirely accurate. Unfortunately, yeah, she's yellowed pretty bad. At first I thought this was factory photo degradation, but we start to examine her a little bit closer. If you can see, like, look at how yellow it is on that arm, and then look on the underside. Yeah, that's sun exposure. That's sun exposure. So somewhere this got left out, but it's unfortunate. It's also missing the extra Titan Master that came with it. Masterpiece Ratchet. Absolutely love this mold. The gun is the only accessory it came with. No sled, no tools, no anything. It still functions as a figure, so it's not like it's not like valueless. But man, it's a ton of parts missing. I think the dude admitted that he accidentally threw those out. So who knows? All right, we have a Siege Ultra Magnus, and then we have a Netflix Ultra Magnus, and then we have a Siege Ultra Magnus. This one's missing a few things. I think I've got one effect part for what's his name? Oh well, I'll think of it. It's part of the joke. I remember wrong. All right, but yeah, he's missing. I think I've still got one of his effect parts in the bin here. I'm interested to see because I got both of these in package and they don't sell.
But I think out of package where people can see them better, they're a little bit more tempting. I've actually sold a loose one before I've sold one sealed. Figure that one out. Energon Rapid Run. I've never even seen one of these things in person, and now here I am. TF Wiki estimates that there's only about 10,000 of these in the world, so the fact that it's missing one of its mini-cons is really, really unfortunate. That's going to be a hard get, but I definitely think it's one that might be worth tracking down if I can get lucky, because this is a really hard repaint to come by. And I've got a regular who's probably watching who's salivating at the thought of such a rare repaint. Alright, Siege Mirage. Alright, so still decent figure, not bad. Alright, Power of the Prime, Elita 1, and Grimlock. I believe both are complete. I'll have to double check a little bit. Grimlock's okay. Weird T-Rex mode, and then Elita 1's always a really odd mold. Alright. Titans Return Alpha Trion. I like this toy a lot better than most do. A lot better than most do. Yeah. Very, very cool, though. Alright, little tiny Huffer. I always felt like retooling Optimus Prime into Huffer made Huffer look way too cool. He's not supposed to look this buff. He's not supposed to. He's missing his little accessory figure, though, so that's unfortunate. You know who is complete? Arachnid. She has her lobster claws. Her little, like, tennis racket things. She's all there. Of all toys to get complete. Alright. How about this? Universe Windshear. Another one I have never seen in person. Super cool. Really like the Cyber Jets, so kind of cool to have one kicking around. Alright. Beast Wars Tarantulas, Transmetal. The Transmetal is worn a little bit. He's missing his gun, and he's missing like 3 spider legs. So what might happen with this one is it might just be like a junker for parts on eBay someday. Alright, Generations Double Dealer. Interesting, like, and kind of clever retool idea for a Blitzwing. I'll give it credit. I don't remember how many issues they fixed, if any, with this mold. It's all there, though. He even has the missile, so got that going for it. Tailgate, IDW based, also missing his accessory figure, which is unfortunate, leaves him accessoryless. Also accessoryless, Universe 2 Cyclonus. This is a fantastic figure, made my Toy of the Year list. That Target Master is a pretty big deal considering how well this toy integrates with it. So, yeah, you got to make sure you got this piece complete. It still forms a fairly nice, like, deluxe size figure, though, so not too bad. Here's interesting. The Fall of Cybertron Combaticons. All 5, I believe they all have their accessories, too. This is a weird set. This is such a weird set. I always felt like this set, above all others, needs another go-around, especially now that we're talking about doing more War for Cybertron toys and Studio Series. It's just such an oddball team. And I feel like these got hurt really, really bad by the shift in budget that happened right when these guys would have been in engineering. I don't think they knew exactly how to work the budget to that point, back when toys had to get a lot cheaper in production, but they still wanted to keep the $15 price point. So yeah, these ended up stuck in the middle and suffered a lot for it. I'd really like to see them get another go now that they're like more comfortable with the lower budgets. Scourge, Titans Return. Missing one of his guns. It's not a major accessory missing. He's still got one at least. And he still fully functions, so he's got that going for him. More Scourge. Thrilling 30 this time. Yeah, looks really, really nice. I've always really liked the idea of like making him a flying wing for an Earth mode. Yeah, and he's all there, so that's not a bad piece to have. You have a Titans Return Galvatron, complete with a 3D printed helmet, which makes him look considerably better than the weird face mask. This one's a hard sell, with the Kingdom one still pretty easy to find. I guess Legacy now easy to find. But we'll see. We'll see. People just want a Galvatron, can have a Galvatron. How about a Universe 2 Inferno, the only new mold Voyager actually produced for the line. Very, very nice. Yeah, this was a pretty solid figure. You saw my review of it. from the Botcon toy. Yeah, it's a big bulky thing. Big bulky thing. All right. So Power the Prime, Slug, missing a sword, and I believe one of the hand-foot guns in there is his. I guess it's just one of the hands in this series. But yeah, I gotta make sure, I gotta see how complete he is. Everything, like all the translucents seem fine on him, so that's okay. Got a Sludge too. I don't have a gun for Sludge. I have to look around for that. Maybe it's in a bin or a bag here somewhere. Titans Return Blur, which I feel is going to be a hard sell with so many blurs on the market these days. Some places you can still find the Studio Series clogging up shelves. And now we have the Velocitron one as well. It's not a bad figure, though. Like, it's really not. I mean, they used it for the RC, so it must be good. They also used it for this Brainstorm, so it must be good. This is like the first remold that made me go, wow, Hasbro can really do just about anything with retooling these days. This is the Walmart reissue. I was so excited when they saw these because like I was like half awake when I saw the announcement and and like, oh my god, they're reissuing G1 Headmasters. Nope. No, they weren't. More Seekers, more classic Seekers. Universe 2 Acid Storm. I really liked getting a green Seeker finally. So very cool to have him. You have a Siege Sideswipe. Seems to be there. Seems like everything is there on him. I've got a custom in mind I might take this one for. We will see. Alright. We have Slash, Power the Prime, and then Titan Return Rumble. That's what they called him on the toy shelf. Don't at me. Just I didn't do anything. That's what he was called. Never actually had this one, so actually kind of cool. Alright, so moving on. We have the Amazon Paradron Medic. Kept the Ratchet, which I admit is the one to keep. Yep, and shoveled this one off. This one isn't a bad one either. I think if you're gonna have like the Studio Series RC around, then it's not a bad, you know, the Elita, like the Elita 1 and the RC version of this toy have basically been replaced with more up-to-date figures. But we haven't gotten the Paradron Medic yet of those toys. So this is not a bad way of keeping that mold around if you want, so they're all a little bit different. Thrilling 30 Warpath. I love this toy. It's one of my favorite toys from that era. Cybertron Armor Hide. Very, very cool. His key is here. He is complete. Everything still works. Love seeing some Cybertron in here. How about really weird? How about a GDO Megatron? This gets a little bit crazy. He is missing his sword, but he still completely functions as a figure. I never liked the aesthetics of this toy. All the heads had a weird aesthetic to them. The original Bludgeon looked animated in the head sculpt. Now you have a G1 head on him. Deathsaurus was the same way. Or Overlord, rather. And then you've got, like, very movie aesthetic, scrawny skeletal arms and hands. You've got this big round design to the chest. It always just felt like the aesthetics on this guy was all over the place. That's just me. I know a lot who like this mold. I'm not one of them, unfortunately. Alright. Buzzworthy Bumblebee. That weird one that was like looked like spot on like Bumper in vehicle mode, and then they put a Bumblebee head on him. No Spike to go with him, so he's about half of his 2-pack, unfortunately. Jazz. Reveal the Shield Jazz is fantastic. Like, I might actually prefer him above the Studio Series. Even though the Studio Series is really good at getting a show-accurate Jazz, this is just a really good toy-accurate Jazz. More Thrilling 30, we've got, or Generations, we've got Megatron in his Stealth Bomber design. Cool figure if everything is solid. You know, if the joints are solid on this one, because they can be a little bit loose and a little bit floppy at sometimes. But if everything is nice and firm, everything works really well. Got his cannon on there too. Nice. Classic Bumblebee. Always one of my favorite little bumblebees. Rescued one of these the last time I went to the east coast of Florida and visited toy shops there. He's missing his jet ski, which takes out his accessory play, but the toy itself is completely functional, so I'm sure someone will want a nice solid Bumblebee. We got a T-Rex that was purchased at clearance. I think everyone bought him at clearance. Titans Return Cup. got his guns. Nothing really shocking there. Have a Goldfire Bumblebee, because they didn't want to call him Goldbug for some reason. Missing his accessory weapons. We'll see how, between his translucent plastic and his gold, we'll see how he holds up. I will update you guys, just in case anything goes wrong. Siege Megatron. He has the cannon, so he can form the tank mode, but the blades have been removed. I don't know if the guy who traded these in removed the blades, or if that was a previous owner, but either way, takes away parts, takes away accessories. Don't do that. Power of the Primes, Rodimus Prime. I really like this toy despite the big backpack shell. I know a lot of people who are down on it because, yes, his shoulders are weird and he has a bunch of shell on his back, but I don't know. I thought it was a really cool, like, super mode type Hot Rod and Rodimus play. Think of it more like Power Master Rodimus, if that helps at all. I think that's where the the aesthetic hits on this one. And just like the core Hot Rod figure alone, I think is in its own way just as good as the Studio Series. I'm not even lying about that. All right. We have a Blue Streak. I believe this is the Cybertronian one. Yes, so he's got more teched out details on his legs. All right, so more Blue Streaks. All right, so he's all there too. Loose Universe Roadbuster. Ironically, we actually have a loose Roadbuster in the exact same condition. Take over here. No key, no knife. So we'll see. Interesting. All right, so I didn't expect that one to double up in this store, but here we are. Titans Return, Astro Train, looking good. I think he's all here. Titans Return, Hot Rod. Look at that. We got a pair. His headmaster is stored away inside the canopy. He's got his guns, so he's all nice and complete. Armada Terrorsaur, super random. He's missing his wing blades, and he is missing his minicon. That's a loss. Red Alert, got some guns. He's been kind of usurped by how high demand the Walgreens exclusive one is, but any Red Alert in a storm for some people. Generations Wreck-Gar, can't have too many Junkions lying around. He's all there too. Classics Optimus Prime. I kind of miss this toy. Not gonna lie, I might take this one home. Everything's there. Big, solid chunk. And like having him in hand, like after I've already lifted like some of the modern Voyagers that are in this pile, it makes me sad. This one is so much heavier. Really kind of puts things into perspective. Reveal the Shield Trax. Not a bad Trax figure. Missiles are there, gun is there, he's intact as well, so good on him. Movie Wreckage. I really like the movie original figures they made for the toy lines, because they feel like they still have some Cybertron aesthetic and some Cybertron's mentalities in their design and engineering. They're not like overcomplicated like some of the movie toys could end up being. Very, very cool. Really, really like this one. Really, really, really like him. Whew. Rodimus Unicronus. So we got both the good and the bad version of that particular toy. This one's also the bad version because he's missing his weapon accessories. And I didn't check inside. Let me see. Looks like his matrix is still there though, so he's got that. But yeah, no guns, unfortunately. That hurts him. Titans Return Blaster. Got his gun, got his head looking good until I hit this, and then yeah, he's missing his weapon block that goes inside him. That's a shame. And then we have Cybertron Menasor. Super cool to finally see him again. Haven't seen him in a long time. Missing a minicon, missing a cyber key, so that takes away some of his play feature. You know how many times I nearly bought this thing just because it's like a modern box of my favorite Headmaster? But it sits here now. Then, hey look, I actually see one in person. But, very important, it's missing a Fangry. So we might ditch the box because it's just taking up way too much space, and we'll just sell the individual figures on this one. This loose bin as well, which is mostly Titan Master vehicles with no heads, which basically makes them just, I don't know. I don't know what to do with them at that point. And I could see, and it's important to note here, like there's a lot of like loose pieces here. There's a lot of Cybertron. There's a lot of like Siege Jetfire parts, some blast effects. It's important to note that collectors like this, there's a spectrum to collectors, and it is a spectrum that goes from you're either either for play or display. Do you collect for play or do you collect for display? And I'm somewhere in the middle. I can appreciate some, like I play with them when they're new, and then they go on to my favorites go on display, and then you have the far side of the display, which is the mint and sealed box collectors. And this comes from someone who's on the far side of the play spectrum, where they played with it, they enjoyed it, and then it's just time for it to move on once they're done with it. And whatever's still there, that's what it has. I get a lot of people like that who don't even know that the accessories are important on a figure. And I always try to stress, like, keep track of them. Even if you don't want them, even if you don't think you'll ever use them. Keep track of them, because you never know when you might need them.
Yeah, it's a lot. And if you made it through all that, thank you. You're the loyal ones. So I get to figure out how much it is worth with so many parts missing. I get to figure out where it goes and how to put it out on the shelves. And, that's just something that happens. Like a lot of times, like I'll go to a used shop and they'll just have like baggies of figures on cardboard hangers stapled onto the bag. And there's just whatever condition it ends up in. I bought figures like that had pieces glued back onto them that I wasn't aware of. Figures that are just the base figure, no accessory. Things like that happen. It happens. It's just, the way some toys are played with and the way some people enjoy it. That's where the spectrum comes in. And if it's the far side of the play spectrum, yeah, it's more likely that there's just not going to be like as many complete toys. Nature of the beast. That's just how it works. So you do what you got to do. You make the best of it. All these figures here, like despite the fact that many are missing extra pieces, are still fully functional. And there's still people who are going to want them just because they look neat, they're affordable. There's going to be people who also are on the play side of the spectrum who aren't going to care so much about the value of the toy or how complete it is. If it looks neat or if it's a character they like, they're going to buy it. And I have like the same thing with the Funko section. One of our most popular shelves on Funko, Scratch and Dent, because there are people who actually open their Funko Pops and they don't care about the condition of the box. Far side of the play spectrum. And that's okay. That's okay. My job here at the store is to make sure there is something for everybody. And that is what I try to do. So for the people who are after Transformers without spending a ton on aftermarket, that is what something like this is for. So we'll clean it up. We'll get it looking nice. And I will probably spend my entire next working day here individually pricing it, listing it, and figure out where it goes. Boy, at least it's something I like, right? But, that's the job. That's the toy store life. Guys, I am facing the most powerful enemy any YouTuber can face, the algorithm, and I need your help to defeat him. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. Every time you do, we attack that algorithm and we drive it back until it can no longer defeat this channel. Thank you very much.